What's up? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing out there in YouTube world, in the world? Happy Thursday. What's going on? We're getting it in today. We're gonna have but not necessarily having fun. We're exposing some information. We're bringing some light to some information today. So I'm in my reporter bag today. I'm in my news reporter bag today because I just learned about two stories that I want to share with you all so we could bring more light to what's going on. For one, is to bring more light for the family of the victim of the first story. And the second story is to bring more light to the young man who's having his farm stolen by people he trusted, people who were supposed to be his friends. And they are corroborating with the local authorities to take his farm. A young black man who's done well for himself, a young black farmer who's done well for himself, and the local authorities are doing what they can to take his farm away from him. So I'm gonna bring more light to that. But the first story is we're getting into what I would say this continued medical apartheid. That's what we're getting into today. A continued medical apartheid, and in the form of organ harvesting and things that are happening to black people that we may not know that is still happening. A lot of stuff is still happening. Things that we've thought that have stopped in the past, or it happened in the past, but it's not happening anymore. But it's still happening. Organ harvesting is still a real thing here in America. And unfortunately, this is a situation that happened around 4 months ago in Sacramento, California, where a black woman went missing. And she really wasn't missing. Nobody informed the family. And in light of finding out everything, when the family did learn about her whereabouts, she had no organs. And I'm gonna fill in the details on that. But I do want to say happy Thursday. I hope you all are enjoying your families during these holiday times. You know, we don't really celebrate holidays in my family, like at all. We just enjoy the time off, and we'll take advantage of that time to get together and chill out with each other. But we don't really celebrate holidays in my family. Matter of fact, my pops shut down holidays when we turned 15. Like, my pops told us, hey, when you turn 15, me and my oldest brother said us that when you turn 15, ain't no more Christmas, no Thanksgiving, no none of that stuff. We ain't doing none of that stuff. You're growing into young men now. You need to understand. Like, I ain't saying don't take that time to spend time with your family, but we ain't doing none of that stuff. So I'm here today, and we got a treat for y'all because we got that Breakdown Friday. Is going to be live tomorrow. We got a live Breakdown Friday for y'all tomorrow at 1 p.m. So you got to make sure you tune in right here tomorrow at 1 p.m. because giving y'all a Breakdown Friday live. I've been wanting to do it for a minute, and the timing is right. Everything lined up so we can do a good Breakdown Friday live tomorrow at 1 p.m. So make sure you tune in. It's a good treat. We are talking about we're examining that is there a biracial problem in America, because we have clips from biracial people who are talking about their experiences in relation to America and the black community. So we're getting into that. But like I said, today we're dealing with some nefarious stuff that's still going on in America. Organ harvesting is still going on in America. A hospital stole a black woman's organs. A woman, so-called, went missing. She was in the hospital. And when her family found her, she wasn't there. Well, she was there, but her organs was missing. So get to these comments real quick. And I have my poll up, so make sure you check out that poll. I have my Q&A up, so make sure you do my Q&A. I have my super chat goal. So if you all would be so kind as to help me reach my super chat goal, that will be great for this holiday season to help me with this channel. It supports this channel, it supports my Black History School. And if you don't like to do the super chat, Cashapp is in the description if you want to support the channel. Like I say, it goes to also help and support the Own the Shows of Giants Black History School. Matter of fact, we got class again this Saturday. So But we're about to get into it. So make sure you do that. Please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. Happy Thursday. Thank you for being here. I appreciate everybody. I love everybody. I appreciate the support. We're going to keep growing. Sydney says, happy Thursday, Grand Rising. Be one family. Just a reminder, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Christmas is canceled. All right, y'all heard her. She said it's all canceled. So make sure you take heed. Says, I never trust doctors. There's no way you can convince me that they don't know about the plan. Yeah, I think it's a lot of nefarious action going on in the medical industry. Matter of fact, I just came out of working in public health, and I've seen a lot of stuff. Not necessarily at my organization, but I've seen a lot of stuff overall, and it's about profit. Definitely, it is about profit over making sure that people are healthy. Trust me when I tell you that. And profit comes in many ways. And one of the ways that profit can come is taking people's organs and selling them, because organs, you can get paid off them organs. You can get paid off for selling people's organs. So that's what we're getting into today. So I'm gonna start with a video of Dick Gregory kind of helping to set the tone about the organ harvest, and then we're gonna get into the story. So please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and share, and let's do this.
Now, you got this youngster, Kendrick Johnson, 17-year-old black child, found dead in the high school gym and stuck between some athletic equipment. Then we find out that all his organs is gone. Okay, the sheriff and all the folks down there, the natural causes. Now you got an undertaker and call. I know you're not getting back, but you need to check this out. The undertaker. This happened in Georgia, Valdosta, Georgia. The undertaker that was brought in to deal with the body is the same undertaker from Miami that was used to deal with Trayvon Martin. Now you're gonna tell me, as close as Atlanta is with black undertaker, you're gonna call all the way to Florida and have a black undertaker come up, and then they exhumed the body, because people was asking serious questions, and found out his body was stuffed with newspaper. The black undertaker from Miami didn't know that, and he must be part of it. Okay, now
he's the same one who did Trayvon, right?
The same one that did Trayvon. And I've always suspected something was wrong with Trayvon, because it's not been for you in black radio, we would have never heard of him, because he laid in the morgue as a John Doe. Okay? Case would have been closed. And so now what we're looking at now, the body's been exhumed.
My bad, I was on mute, my bad. But he just said that the body laid in the morgue as a John Doe. So that is going to be a theme for the organ harvesting. Bodies laying in the morgue as John or Jane Does. Black bodies, unidentified black bodies lying in morgues as John and Jane Does. Pay attention to that.
And we find out that all his organs was gone. I've been trying to tell y'all that, and I keep telling you, you don't hear it. That the drive-by shootings, most of them is body organ stealing. Okay, we go back to and it's been reported, but ain't nobody listening, because it seems so awesome. But if you Google a New York Times story, July the 24th, 2009, 44 charged by U.S. in Jersey corruption sweep, and they talking about stealing organs. And so consequently, what the biggest money maker on the planet right now is organs. All these drive-by. But look, if I'm so thuggish, I'm just gonna go and shoot people in the black community. What difference does it make if I shoot a woman or a man? Are you telling me these black folks that's doing it is so into respecting a black woman, they don't shoot them? 98% of drive-by shootings is men. And most of them are head shots. How you gonna shoot me in the head from a car when your hand is moving? And all the bullets is going down. Am I on a rooftop or something? And so consequently, when you stop and think about how long this has been going on. And when you look at the New York Times article, let me tell you, me and Carl been sharing this for a long time. When King was shot, was beat up by the cops, and he just died recently. Here's a story in the New York Times, Sunday, May the 10th, 1992. Los Angeles police differ sharply with prosecutor on arrest. Police officers said today that they have arrested 18,213 people from Wednesday night, April the 29th, the day the riots began, through this morning. But the prosecutors say they cannot account for as many as 10,000 of them people. We don't know where they are. This is who talking. James Hearn, the Los Angeles City Attorney. It is a mystery to a lot of us in the system. Well, it is stolen. 10,000. They do it under the auspices of a riot. Now, very seldom they'll slip and give information because both of them is talking and they not in on the. And so they saying we arrested 18,213. We can't find 10,000 of them. Well, I tell you what they went. They shipped them up to Gooseneck, Oregon, okay, to the Coast Guard Hospital. We checked it out, and somebody said, yeah, they got 10,000, bunch of black folk came through here. How'd they explain it? Well, they just said they were uneducated, they couldn't find jobs, so we're going to teach them how to fight forest fires. And that talent is used all. You don't have to learn math or trigonometry to fight forest fires. That's what's been happening right in front of you. And so, let me give you an example. If you, my son, okay, and they come by the house and announce to me and your mother that you've been killed in a drive-by shooting, I have no jurisdiction over that body. That's a murder. That's a homicide. The coroner determines when I see that body. Okay? So when I get in there and see the body and see all them stitches and needle marks and I just assume that was part of the investigation. I have no idea they're taking your organs. Okay? That's what's been going on, and that's what happened. Very seldom you get that lucky. We got a bunch of us that follows them and look at it, but for the first time, CNN talked about it. It broke. The white station that broke it was headline news. And even the guy, I was shocked. Somebody called me and said, the guy that broke it said, Dick Murphy's been talking about this for years. And so now, when you stop and think about what's been going on, why wouldn't I, as a mother or a father, I'm already shook up over my child being there. Why would I think there's anything devious about it? Okay? And now all of y'all that's listening that had a loved one, ain't no way you can get to the body because you got to go to court and have that body exhumed, and they're not about to do that.
To be true. Yet there it was in print.
So that was, like I say, setting the tone with Dick Gregory, giving us a little background on organ harvesting, especially like within the 2000s, right? What's happening. And it's leading us to this story about Tanya Walker. Tanya Walker supposedly went missing, but what we do know is her organs went missing, right? And so this happened in November of 2023 in Sacramento, California. And her family had all types of questions, all type of answers. They would picture this. Your family member goes missing, right? I want you to look at me good. Listen at me. I'm gonna say it country. Listen at me good. Your family member, your loved one goes missing. Everybody in your family, everybody in the neighborhood, friends, family, loved ones, everybody's looking for this person in this city. Months go by, you can't find your loved one. You can't find your family member. Ultimately, you find out that the body of your family member has been at the local hospital the whole time. You heard what I just said. You're looking for your family, your missing family member. You're looking for your missing family member. Months go by, only to find out that your family member is at the local hospital. And then you later on find out that your family member's organs have been taken. This is what we're getting into. This is the story of Tanya Walker. This happened in 2023, but we're really finding out more of the information about Tanya Walker like maybe 4 months ago. Things started to come out. So we are not safe. PC keep telling us we at war. This is real war. This is not only war, this is population control. This is them making sure that they can either live off the organs, sell the organs, whatever. We are the pawns in this chess game. And when are we going to learn to use ourselves more strategically for our own game, right? So we could better protect ourselves. Have you seen the movie Law Abiding Citizen? Well, Will B ain't got nothing to do. I haven't seen Law Abiding Citizen. Well, it ain't got nothing to do on what I do. Okay, I haven't seen that, but all right. But let me get to this story, right? This is actually the second news story. I'm playing in the reverse order. This is the second news story that came out about Tanya Walker. So check it out. Let me share my screen so you can check it out.
And a concerning update to our ongoing KCRA 3 investigation. Dignity delayed. Last week, we told you exclusively about the third missing persons case linked to a Dignity Health hospital and its backlog of human remains.
A lawsuit just filed reveals more disturbing allegations. KCRA 3 investigates Lizzie Mitri has been combing through the documents. Lizzie, what did you find?
Curtis, the lawsuit claims not only did the hospital fail to notify Tanya Walker's family after she died, it alleges the hospital actually donated Walker's organs, even though she wasn't an organ donor. At 51 years old, Tanya Walker died at Dignity Health's Mercy General Hospital in November 2023. But the family says the hospital never notified them and didn't issue a death certificate until 5 months later. So the family and detectives searched for Walker all that time. Now, the family says they're suing.
They need to be held to task for the absolute nightmare that families are living who do not know if their family members are dead or alive.
The lawsuit also alleges that Dignity unilaterally made the decision to make Walker an organ donor and then, without any permission whatsoever, harvested her eyes and tissue. On top of Dignity Health, the family is suing the offsite morgue that Dignity has been contracting with to store bodies for months or even years after patient deaths. It's more commonly known as cremations only, but the official business is Mortuary Support Services of Northern California. It's owned by Michael Robert Lofton. The lawsuit alleges the company failed to properly store Walker's remains by failing to embalm her body and refrigerate it at the appropriate temperature. It also states a permit is required by law to store a body for more than 8 calendar days, and that the company held Walker's body for 5.5 months before finally getting that permit. We did reach out, and the attorneys for Lofton and his business say this is a very unfortunate situation. However, they say their client disputes that it has any liability in this matter, and they intend to vigorously defend any claims against it. Another thing that stuck out to us, this lawsuit claims the Sacramento County District Attorney is now investigating. The office wouldn't confirm that to us, saying it doesn't comment on what it is or is not investigating, but that would be a big development because up to now, state regulators have known about this and they have taken no enforcement action.
So, Lizzie, we know you've been reaching out to the state about this, about a history of issues with Dignity hospitals. What's the latest from the Department of Public Health on this?
Right. We've been requesting records. Back in February, CDPH was supposed to send us documents from a 2022 inspection of Mercy San Juan within 14 days. We've reached out multiple times on that and haven't heard back. So we're still waiting.
Yeah, and I know you'll continue to press them for more information on this. Lizzie, thank you so much for looking into that.
And we're going to continue to follow this issue closely.
So you heard what they said. So Tanya Walker went into the hospital and never came out. They illegally made her an organ donor, exhumed her organs, shipped her over to the morgue, held her for 5 months illegally, and didn't notify anybody. If that don't sound like organ harvesting, I don't know what that is. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I'm not a fool either. So you have a morgue that's not even really fully regulated like it's supposed to be. That is the selected morgue for this particular hospital. And this particular hospital, Dignity Hospitals, has a reputation for offing people, allegedly, this Dignity Hospital allegedly has a reputation for offing people keeping their bodies and their organs going missing, according to what this is saying, allegedly, because I got to say allegedly. So allegedly, this is what's happening. What's the code? How you doing? Thank you for joining us this morning. Peace and blessings to you as well. Learn CPR. Oh yeah, hey, look, I got my CPR in my card. I got my CPR card in my wallet right now. I am certified in CPR. Yeah, I agree. We should learn as much in the medical field to help ourselves as possible, because we have to learn alternatives to a medical industry that we don't trust. If we don't trust the industry, we got to do a couple things. One of the things is we have to be healthy, and another thing we have to find, we have to create our own alternatives. But Tanya Walker went into Dignity Hospital and didn't come out. That makes me think about something I saw the other day. It was talking about serial killers, and it was talking about white women serial killers specifically, and how when we talk more so about serial killers, we talk mainly about men. First white men, then black men. And then we talk about the ways in which they take people out. In this one, when talking about white female serial killers, one thing that stood out to me is a lot of these women were nurses. A lot of these women were in the healthcare field. A lot of these women were in the fields where they are taking care of people. And so a light bulb went off in my head. Okay. So I hear an abundance of black women giving their experiences in hospitals, negative experiences in hospitals. I'm always hearing black women, especially when they're talking about pregnancies, but just period. The hospitals, the people in the hospitals, the nurses, they're telling them that they don't feel pain. They don't have the issues that they're having. Everything is being downplayed. And then I think about the mortality rate of black women in the hospital. And then I remember a quote of some woman who said, hospitals are to black women what the police are to black men. And I was like, And so I'm not a black woman, so I have to listen. I have to open my ears up and listen, right? Because if so many black women from so many walks of life across the country, because I've heard this on both coasts. I've been in California hearing women saying this. I've been as far as DC hearing women saying this. I'm in Florida hearing women saying this. Everywhere I go across the country. And I talk to many people across the country. Through this podcast, I've been podcasting for 10 years. I've talked to thousands of people across the country. And one of the main things I keep hearing from black women is basically they're trying to take them out in the hospitals, right? And so at some point we got to start to listen and we got to correlate things, right? So on one hand, serial killer white nurses. On the other hand, black women, negative experiences in hospitals, to the point where they're actually, a lot of these women are not coming out of these hospitals. We got to look at something. We have to look at something. There you go. Take care of our health. There we go. Georgia says the devil is here, only a matter of time before he will reveal himself. So he's collecting souls from people who would look down, who the world will look down on. May more of my black people seek the Heavenly Father. Said book suggestion. Yep, I got some excerpts from Medical Apartheid. And Georgia said we got to pray too. My man Ricardo Flo in the building. What's going on? He says KCR83. That's here where I live. I have decent med coverage, but I don't take everything my doctor says is gospel. I know they use a single standard for all, but our blood types is different. Nah, you right. You have to know yourself. I've said for long, especially growing up in the South, right? So growing up in the South, my people are country. Especially on my mother's side. My pop's side, my people are ghetto. They hood and ghetto on my pop's side. On my mama's side, my people are country. And so, but both are still from Florida. We're still from North Florida. And if you know anything about North Florida is still country. So old school home remedies, natural remedies have always been a part of my life. Natural remedies and natural medicines and things are still a part of my life. Now, I've been a relatively healthy person my whole life. And I think one of the things I attribute that to is eating fruits and vegetables, getting exercise, drinking water, and making sure I consume my natural nutrients, remedies, medicines, and all those things there. I do think that there should be a merging of the two, a merging of the modern stuff and the traditional stuff. But it all starts with us taking care of ourselves. But yeah, you have to know yourself. You have to know your blood type. You need to know all these things, right? Men, we need to create the medical spaces for ourselves. We need to, and we need to nurture them as well. So another book suggestion, A Terrible Thing to Waste by Harriet Washington. That's what's up. To ask questions. There you go. We need to make it clear and known that we will no one sit or stand for what's been happening, retribution over reparation. There we go. We will no longer, I got you. We will no longer stand for what's going on. Right. Remember Miss S. Williams' experiences during childbirth. Who was Miss S. Williams? Please remind us. I'm sorry. God ain't got nothing to do with this. Get out of here, my people. We can flee. Who can't needs to watch and pray. Hey, we don't need to flee. We need to be victorious. We need to be victorious over the system, because remember, it's a global system. Black women and black men are suffering from this globally. Serena Williams, right. Oh, S. Williams, I didn't get that. Yes, Serena Williams did share her story. And I will say this. Serena Williams sharing her story did help to bring more light to what's going on to black women, but it shouldn't have took Serena Williams. It shouldn't have took the story of a mega celebrity for people to be paying attention. But I do thank her for sharing her story because it brought more light to it. It says, I am growing through this madness now, still since 2020. This medical industry, man, and think about what we're saying too. Medical industry. Anytime you attach industry to it, that means money is involved. Now, let me play this other video because Tanya Walker was like the third missing person within Dignity Hospital within a certain time frame. So let me play this before I give you a lot more details on this Tanya Walker thing. So please hit that like button, everybody coming in. Please hit that like button so we can make sure this video gets out. It helps the algorithm. It helps us grow. It helps everything. So please hit that like button. And I appreciate y'all for joining me on this good Thanksgiving morning before everybody go eat. Come holler at me. Let's build. Let's learn. Let's grow. I got my news report I had on today. Let's get it. This is more information about Dignity Hospital, what's happening with the Tanya Walker situation and its relation to other cases within Dignity Hospital, because it seemed like allegedly that if you go to this place, you're not coming out. So
it all comes down to one public record required by law, a death certificate. And this Is yet another example of what happened when a Dignity Health hospital didn't get that taken care of after one of its patients died, leaving the family and law enforcement in the dark.
We went searching and we started making flyers.
Where was Tanya Walker?
Not knowing is the hardest thing. We had posted several times, TikTok, Facebook, any social media platform we could.
Family and detectives tried to find out.
We were really investing a lot of resources into Tanya's case at the time.
Trying to find someone who was never really missing. Could this have been avoided?
Oh, absolutely.
My name is Daly Merez. My sister's name is Tanya Walker.
Walker was the oldest of 13 kids, her other sister, Kalia Zachary, says.
We grew up here in Sacramento, born and raised, all of us.
The 51-year-old also had kids of her own.
She has 4 children, 2 girls, 2 boys.
It was just before Thanksgiving in 2023 when the family reported Walker missing.
She's never missed a holiday. She was there every holiday. So we were just waiting for her to come there for Thanksgiving. And when she didn't show up, we knew something's really, really wrong.
I'm a detective with the Missing Persons Bureau for the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office.
Detective Zahim Baksh was on the case.
From the get-go, Tanya's family was very involved in getting our office information.
I think they thought we were crazy, to be honest. We called them so much.
The sheriff's office report shows Walker's family said she was homeless, but she had a car, a white Toyota Camry, last seen here near a North Highlands apartment complex. But when detectives checked it out, there was no car and no Walker.
From there, we started doing review of surveillance footages, contacting residents that may have seen her in that area.
They traced her car to a Roseville tow yard and searched it.
One tool that we used in her case was a cadaver dog because we wanted to take out the question of, hey, was this potentially a homicide?
Because after the family offered a small reward, the tips were worrisome.
We received a lot of information that she was deceased. She was in a body bag.
Each time they'd pass it on to detectives.
We kept saying, here's another site. We'd show them the text or the email, and they'd meet us out there. We would dig it up. And she wouldn't be there.
So roughly how long were you investigating this?
In Tanya's case, we were investigating it for roughly 7 to 8 months.
Wow.
An investigation that came to an end in a way no one expected.
It was May 30th. The detectives called us.
They learned Walker suffered cardiac arrest and died here at Dignity Health's Mercy General Hospital all the way back on November 2nd of 2023. But the hospital didn't issue a death certificate until April 15th of 2024.
Like, oh my God, like what? Why weren't we notified?
That means the family reported Walker missing 2 weeks after she had died at the hospital.
They could have actually saved us a lot of heartache and trauma.
Months of added grief for the family and fewer resources for detectives.
Unfortunately, Tanya is not our only missing person.
The sheriff's office says it gets 150 to 200 missing persons cases a month.
You kind of look back and you think, well, you could have maybe done this on another case while we were looking at Tanya's case because she truly wasn't missing.
After Walker died, the hospital stored her body here at an offsite morgue called Cremations Only.
Just to know that she was sitting at a morgue for 7 months and no one notified us, it was just heartbreaking for us to, why couldn't anyone tell us anything, So I think that's more of what has me so angry.
Now the family is suing since learning they were not alone.
It just continues to get worse and worse as the facts come out.
KCRA 3 Investigates has already revealed Dignity Health had a backlog of dozens of bodies, patients kept at a morgue without any public record of their death, in some cases for years, even though California law requires a death certificate within just 8 days.
This case appears to be a callous disregard for Dignity's patients and their families.
Her body was in the worst condition you could imagine.
Walker's family says they were forced to cremate her.
So this was from her celebration of life. Family members sign it.
Love you, sis. We'll miss you.
To my oldest sister, love you always.
Will always be in my heart. Love you, Mom.
A life taken too soon. Rest in peace, your cousin.
While still grieving the loss, they say they're also fighting for justice.
What would you like to see happen?
Change. That's what I would hope for, is change.
We did reach out to a Dignity Health spokesperson and Mercy General Hospital President Stephen Foster, asking for an interview to discuss Walker's delayed death certificate. They did not respond. Back to you.
And KCRA 3 Investigates has obtained court records related to 22 other cases where Dignity Health hospitals took more than a year to issue death certificates. In those documents, Dignity Health says that the COVID-19 pandemic and staffing issues created the backlog of patients at its off-site morgue.
Wow.
I chose the domain name.
Wow. 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 That's crazy as hell to hear that. So Dignity, so what's up with Dignity Hospital? Why are they still operating? If they have all this information on Dignity Hospital and they have a backlog of bodies that they're not informing people about, people are allegedly not here no more in their hospital. They're going to hospital, allegedly not leaving the hospital. Right? And then the morgue just holding bodies for years. And this place is still running. That, to me, my light bulb go off. I ain't saying I'm the sharpest knife in the drawer, but my light bulb go off and I say, this smell like conspiracy to me. I'm just saying, if it smell like conspiracy to me. It smelled like a well-run operation. That's what it smelled like to me. I'm just saying. So I think we're getting the second round of evil our ancestors got, and how we're going to stop this. It's not just happening to you guys, but we're all landed. Unity will be, I'm just saying, unity will help us be able to better protect ourselves, to be unified. Start eating these foods that cause organ failure. European kings were known for eating meat and died very early. Now they need organs. Yeah, I mean, the foods we have, all our foods are messed up because the meats are bad, the vegetables are bad, fish bad, all the stuff bad. Everything is bad. We are so dependent upon them that whatever poisons they giving us, we don't have no choice but to consume, and we try to get the best of the poisons. Yep, learn how to get along. It says, our doctors capable of eye transplants are few. China did. And so, right, because they said they took her eyes. They said they took her eyes and other soft tissue. So if eye transplants are few, and they took her eyes, that's a very, 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 very expensive transaction. Sounds like they had a real good reason to keep her body there and not say anything to anybody. How much money could, if they, for legal reasons, let's just say allegedly that they are involved in organ harvesting. Just imagine how much money they've made from all the bodies that they've got stacked up. at their neighborhood friendly morgue. Ricardo says, Sacramento has a lot of homeless people and fentanyl junkies everywhere. You should see what that stuff does. Look, we got a lot of junkies around here. I'm in a small town, but we got big problems in the small town. The judicial industry attacks black men. The medical, yes, FM, yes. Black people are at war and we don't even know it. Matter of fact, white people are at war against us and we don't even know it because we out here trying to be friends with everybody who's been warring on us for the longest. Yep. Justin Roan, what's going on, my brother? Jefferson County, Missouri, how you doing, my brother? All the way from Tallahassee, Florida, Leon County, Florida, how you doing, my brother? Don't know why you want truth and justice from a people that never believed in that. There you go. We have to understand our enemies. Look at how they treat us. When they get a chance to do whatever, they do it. But we keep trying to be friendly and kind to everybody. You got to love your enemies. How has that helped us? It sounds good and it feels good, but practically, how has that helped us? Let us learn from this video. We got to learn. That's one of my issues is how much are we really learning from any of the information that we're consuming? Or are we just fine with just consuming information? Because this is not trauma corn. This is not the trauma bonding. This is what's going on. How do we better protect ourselves? So let me get to this. I got some more information for y'all. I appreciate everybody, all the comments. Grand rising to everybody. Shakay, thank you. To get to the bottom of it, follow the money. There you go, Ricardo. You got to follow the money. If you don't follow the money, you don't know what's going on. If we did this, we'd be under the. Hey, look here. Yikwabwa. I'm now messing your name up. Yikwabwa. Yeah, that's we wouldn't even get away with it. We wouldn't even have a chance. It'll be stopped in a week. Look how many like fake doctors, fake black doctors and stuff that we found that didn't last that long, right? This has been going on for years. So I have some information that I want to share with you all. Right? Please, like what's the code say? Please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Please. For all my first-time viewers, thank you for being here. This is On the Shoulders of James, so we get down like this all the time. We have fun, we learn, we grow. We don't care about feelings, but we grow over here. So, according to a lawsuit filed in Sacramento County Superior Court, Tanya Walker died at Mercy General Hospital, which is a part of Dignity Hospital, on November 2nd, 2023. Her family claims Dignity Health neither notified them of her death nor issued a death certificate in a timely fashion, which we saw in the video. It also says California law requires a death certificate within 8 days. She was there. The first video said 5 months. The second video said 7 months. Either way, she was there long enough for a death certificate. One was not issued. That right there, red flag. Why wasn't a death certificate issued? That sounds like foul play right there. All right. California law requires a death certificate within 8 days, waiting approximately 5 months before a death certificate was issued. Well, why? As a result, for months, her family and law enforcement treated her as a missing person, as a Jane Doe, right? So she's at the hospital in this city. Like I said earlier, she's at the hospital in this city. And according to this information, they're saying law enforcement treated her as missing. And so people were distributing flyers. They were canvassing streets. They were even searching with cadaver dogs, like they said in the video. They're searching around the city and everywhere with cadaver dogs, looking for Tanya Walker's body and can't find her body, all to find out that her body is at this morgue that is associated with Dignity Hospitals. So I have two questions, or I have two thoughts when it comes to the law enforcement. Did the law enforcement already know and was just taking the family on a wild goose chase, or was the law enforcement shut out of this altogether? Or is the law enforcement in on that within Sacramento, California? Or is this just some scheme that these healthcare people got going on that's outside of any allegiances with the law enforcement? So these are things that I ask myself straight up. Thugs and gangsters, right? In May of 2024, they learned that Tanya's body had been stored at an off-site morgue operated by a contracted mortuary named in the lawsuit as Mortuary Support Services of Northern California, more commonly known as Cremations Only. And this is a contracted mortuary. So the mortuary was contracted by the hospital, by Dignity Hospitals, by this specific hospital in this place, in this city, in the same city where the people and everybody was looking for the body for 5 damn months. And nothing. Until one day, everything turns up, right? When the family identified the remains, they alleged that Tanya's eyes and skin were missing. Tanya's eyes and skin were missing. Why was her eyes and skin missing? Out the thicket. Why was her eyes and skin missing? Maybe because these are very, 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 very valuable organs, and these organs come from a vulnerable person. A 51-year-old, because in the news clip you heard it said the 51-year-old lady who died of cardiac arrest. Allegedly, she died of cardiac arrest within the hospital, the same hospital that didn't tell nobody that she passed away. The same hospital that has a contract with the morgue that had a body for 5 to 7 months. So you're right, somebody white walking around with some black people eyes, right? So it says and that the body appears to have been harvested for organs or tissues, even though she was not registered as an organ donor. Remember, they registered her themselves. They themselves changed her status to an organ donor. They themselves, the hospital did that. Why did the hospital have a need? Because we got to ask questions now. Why did the hospital have a need to change her from not being an organ donor to being an organ donor if they were not involved in organ harvesting? I'm gonna ask that again. Oh, we started the show off talking about Kendrick Johnson I showed a clip of Dick Gregory talking about Kendrick Johnson. We started the show off talking about that. But an organization, a hospital, who is not involved in organ harvesting, why do they have a need to change somebody's status from not being an organ donor to being an organ donor? And then that person supposedly passes away. They tell nobody. And then that person's organs end up missing. Eyes, soft tissue, and other organs end up missing. But they're not involved in organ harvesting. That's what they want us to believe. I'm just saying 1 + 1 is always 2. All right. So it also goes on to say the lawsuit alleges that Dignity Health unilaterally made the decision. Now I'm going back to changing her status. Unilaterally made the decision to make Ms. Walker an organ donor and harvested her tissues without any permission whatsoever. And this is according to KCRA, the same news outlet where we got the videos from, right? So the lawsuit also accuses the mortuary owner. So now we got a name. We have a name now. A buddy named Michael Lofton of gross negligence for storing her remains improperly, failing to embalm or refrigerate the body properly because they had to keep the body in a way where they can have them, where they can harvest them organs. They wasn't going to preserve the body in the proper way that they would when they wasn't taking people's organs, but they unilaterally, that's the word that this used, they unilaterally changed her organs, her status to being an organ donor, and then took her organs without permission. So murder, forgery, malpractice, kidnapping, all of that happened. All of that happened. Jedi Skywalker, what's going on? So, also this says, according to reporting, this is not an isolated case, especially for the Dignity hospitals. It is a part of a pattern of similar lawsuits against Dignity Health, alleging lost bodies, delayed death certificates, failure to notify families, and improper storage of remains. Dignity Health has a history of lost bodies, delayed death certificates, failure to notify families, and improper storage of remains. What does that sound like to you? I want you to tell me what that sounds like to you, because I know what that sounds like to me. I know exactly what that sounds like to me. That sounds like somebody taking something that they don't need to be taking. Hey. Right here, organ harvesting. Is it there? Not no more, because they took the organs. It ain't there no more, but is it there? How you doing? But yeah, organ harvesting. Or that's exactly what that sounds like, organ harvesting. If you tell me something, if you tell me that that bird has a bill, lays eggs, it quacks, has webbed feet, I'm thinking duck. It's duck. Did that person went in the hospital healthy for something minor? I'm not sure as of yet. I haven't come across any information to say whether she was unhealthy when she went in, but the report is just saying that she suffered cardiac arrest while in the hospital. What was the cause of her going in? Nobody knows as of yet. Straight up, happy horror days. Straight up. So it says truth. I said, yep, facts prove evidence. Hey, man. Hey. So, Marie, some more. It says the consequences for the families have been devastating. Months of anguish, uncertainty, futile searching, and once the remains were found, deep trauma upon seeing their loved one in a mutilated, unrecognizable fashion. And you heard them in the video say they could not recognize Tanya Walker. And so the body was so mutilated and unrecognizable that they resulted to cremating her body. That's how bad the condition was, because the body was not stored properly. The body was not kept properly by the morgue company, the contracted morgue company. They're Dignity Hospital's #1 contractors. So it also says, as of the latest reporting, these are allegations in the civil lawsuit. That means none of the organ harvesting claims have been legally proven in court, or at least publicly proven, confirmed as proven. And that's why I keep saying allegedly, because nothing has been proven in court. But all I'm saying is it sounds like somebody getting their organs taken. I'm just saying. It sounds like Tanya Walker is the latest victim of organ harvesting. That's what it sounds like. Nothing has been proven legally. We get that. So legally, we're going to protect ourselves. Nothing has been proven legally. So everything is alleged. But, you know, Yaquiba said, you can leave this planet that he will leave. Hey, man. If we can leave and come back with some forces that can help us defeat the system of white supremacy, let's do it. Let's get them out. Let's get white supremacy out of here. The hospital group Dignity Health reportedly declined to comment for several media requests. So Dignity Hospital ain't talking to nobody. They saying, we ain't saying nothing. We're going to let our lawyers speak for them, I guess. So because the family did not consent to donation, if the claims are true, this would, if verified, constitute illegal and highly unethical behavior. But official findings, an example by law enforcement, medical examiners, or regulatory agencies, if any, have not been made public in full. So there's no finalizing of this. There's no concrete legal standing to say this is what actually happened, even though all the evidence that we have. So according to the lawsuit, the media coverage, the matter is in litigation. Some of the civil complainants also mention involvement of the county's district attorney's office, indicating a possible criminal or regulatory investigation. Given the gravity of the accusations and the wider pattern of similar cases, the story is very newsworthy, but also evolving. So this is an ongoing story. KCRA out of Sacramento is one of the news agencies that has been on this case about what's going on with Tanya Walker. Says, I don't think they would take form a junkie with only from the healthy. Gotcha. I got what you're saying. Said our people need to learn medical, yeah, in all aspects, bring them skills and start a medical practice. Now we have to, but think about it though. What are we really pushing our children to become when it comes to real infrastructure and things that makes a society and a community really run? Are we really encouraging our kids to take up those fields? Are we really even preparing our children to take up those skills, those jobs and those sectors? Are people even being conscious of making sure that their children have the skills to survive as adults in this world? That no infrastructure skills. Everybody want to be athletes, entertainers. Everybody want to be on social media. Everybody want to be YouTubers. All these things. Everybody can't do that. Who's going to keep the society running? We should be focusing on making sure that our children have the jobs, skills, and mindsets to keep societies running. We can't keep trying to do all this fluff stuff. All this fluff stuff is going to keep us dependent on the system of white supremacy. You can't keep complaining about the system of white supremacy, but keep setting your children up to be a part of it just as much as we are. You can't keep setting our children up to assimilate to the system of white supremacy, but keep complaining about it. How do we better protect ourselves from the system of white supremacy? What do we do different? What are we doing? What are we doing different? What have you done different? And if the answer is nothing, then you got some homework to do. You need to get started ASAP. If the laws weren't biased, this wouldn't. There you go. But because we live in a racist society, in a society where white supremacy is embedded in the fabric of America, this is how we go. What's going on, how y'all doing out there? Thank y'all for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Please share. You can super chat, all those different things to support what we got going on over here. When going to the hospital as a black person, never go alone. There you go. And have your stuff together. Let people know where you're going. Have at least 3 of you and include a mail and video yourselves. 3 of you, see if you need to go grab something. Another. Always protect ourselves. We got to protect ourselves. Each one teach one. There you go, Michael. Appreciate you, my brother. There you go. Right on. That's right. Never go alone. Have a medical care team. When I was working in healthcare, we used to teach people to have a medical care team. This is your healthcare team. Your healthcare team mostly consists of your family and friends, your loved ones, and then it will consist of those on the medical side. But your family and friends are the main ones that are part of your healthcare team. And you need to have a plan of action and a plan of follow-up action when you go to the hospital to do anything. Have your questions written down. Anything you're confused of, have that written down. If you can't articulate yourself fully, somebody who can need to go with you. We need to better protect ourselves, put ourselves in better positions, and ultimately, though, take better care of ourselves. The Most High promised vengeance for all these things that they are doing in this world and these industries and businesses. Right. We need everything. We need land. We need unity. We need power. We need structure. We need self-esteem. We need care. We need all of that. All of that. Protect ourselves better. This what I'm reading from is also saying this is documented history in the U.S. of medical exploitation and experimentation on Black people from slavery times through the 20th century. The most infamous example, of course, is the Tuskegee experiment, but we all know about like Henrietta Lacks as well, what they did with her, right? For many African Americans, that story has led to deep mistrust of the medical system, and a lot of people really do a lot of Black people do distrust the medical industry and the medical systems. I don't blame them, but we have to have constructive alternatives. You can't just be mad and I'm mad at the medical industry. Okay, so what is the solution? What is the constructive alternative for us, right? Studies show that Black Americans on average are less likely than white Americans to sign organ donor cards or to consent to donation, whether for themselves or loved ones, right? But what we see is the hospitals can unilaterally, because that's the word they use, they can unilaterally change your status without your consent or your family's consent. Well, they can't do that. Let me restate that. Hospitals can't do that. Dignity Hospital allegedly illegally does that, because that's what the lawsuit said. The lawsuit, according to the lawsuit, Dignity Hospitals changed Tanya Walker's organ donor status from not being an organ donor to being an organ donor, and then proceeded to allegedly take her organs. This mistrust is rooted not only in historic abuse, but ongoing disparities in discrimination in healthcare access, treatment, and outcomes for Black communities, right? But we have a conundrum on our side as Black people, because on one end, we're not that healthy, and on the other end, we don't want to go to the doctor because we don't trust the doctor. So what's the healthy medium? We got to take better care of ourselves too, but we also need more Black doctors, more people in the healthcare field. We can eventually create our own healthcare sector for ourselves. I know I'm from here in Tallahassee, Florida. Go back and check out my interview that I did with Dr. Joseph Webster. Check out my interview I did with Dr. Joseph Webster right here on this channel, because it was a history of Black medical care right here in Tallahassee, Florida. And for a while, FAMU on the campus of Florida A&M University, the Black people had our own hospital, FAMU Hospital, where we could take care of ourselves, where we was not welcome in other hospitals. So in the past, we could build our own institutions for ourselves. We could still do that now. And I'm not saying none exists, but we can still do that now. Build for ourselves, take care of ourselves, but we have to train ourselves as well. We need more Black professionals. We need more Black people in the things that actually really matter in running a society. Damn all the fluff stuff. Damn all the entertainers. Damn all the athletes. Damn all that stuff there. What are the real careers that make a society run, that a group of people can use to push themselves forward, right? We need that. They talk about how much they hate and despise Black folks, but they damn sure don't hate. I'm saying, Black only doctors and nurses elected by bloodline. We need that. We need that. Learn a little about everything. There we go. I'm from Haines City, Florida, bro. What's going on, man? I'm straight Leon County, Tallahassee, man. So you already know, you know how I go down here in Florida. You know how I go down here in Florida. Oh, I will. I'm definitely going to interview more Black doctors and nurses. I definitely will, because we need to know. But let me read some more for y'all, though. In ethical medicine and human rights discussions, the consensus is clear. Valid organ donation must always be voluntary, with informed consent, free from coercion. Any deviation, especially without consent, enters the domain of human rights violations. So Tanya, according to this, Tanya Wright's family has a human rights violation, a human rights lawsuit I'm sure they have filed against Dignity Hospitals, because human rights were violated They changed Tanya Wright's status on their own. They didn't ask Tanya Wright. They changed her status on their own and then proceeded to allegedly take her organs. Yeah. And so we know organ donation can and does save lives, right? There's a history of that. But scandals, scams, systematic racism, all that stuff, socioeconomic vulnerability, because they said she was homeless. So socioeconomic vulnerability and lack of oversight can turn that same system into exploitation and abuse, and that's exactly what happened because Tanya Walker was socioeconomically vulnerable. Chisel Chip was in the building. My brother, thank you for being in the building. A channel member. How you doing, my brother? Skin is used to burn, repair, and other cosmetic post-surgical procedures. Gotcha. Also says, I removed myself from the organ donor list. I did too. I remember years ago I saw a video. I was like, nah, let me remove myself. Says, no nurse or doctor should be hired by nobody but us who's supposed to serve us. But that's why we got to get our minds right. I don't trust them. I went from a prostate surgery to kidney problems to liver damage and the bad gut symptoms. They just be, because it's an industry, it's about getting that money. So we got to stay healthy, so we stay out of there, just get our checkups and stuff, do what we need to do. Make sure we have our own doctors as well for the things that we really need, but we got to be healthier. There you go. As Black people, never sign organ donor. It sounds bad. Now, right, never sign it, but we also have to be able to protect ourselves because remember, in this particular case, they changed her status for her. She was not an organ donor originally, but they changed her status for her. Oh, they have a lawsuit. They already have a lawsuit out. The lawsuit is already out. We're just learning about it now. It says Sacramento is corruption deep. Nothing will happen to Dignity Health. They'll quiet it down and cover it up. Just look at those they to death. Damn. And I hear stories about hospitals like this, that especially the hospitals that Black people frequent the most, treating Black people like this. Go to more Black doctors, but make sure you can trust them also, right? Because all skin ain't kin. I stopped trusting the medical system during COVID when the hospital thought they could let my elderly mom die due to COVID. Oh yeah. So this leads me and links me to like medical apartheid. Because I think we all need to read that book, Medical Apartheid. So, and I just give you, if you haven't read the book, I'm just give you a little bit of what you could get from reading that book, right? And so part 1 of Medical Apartheid is called A Troubling Tradition, right? And so medical apartheid shows how from colonial times through slavery and into the 19th century, Black bodies, especially enslaved or even vulnerable bodies, because enslaved bodies are vulnerable bodies, poor people, were routinely used for medical experimentation, dissection, and grave robbing without consent. Does that sound familiar? Demand for cadavers for medical training meant the dead, poor, often Black. Probably gives some light to why so many bodies sit in that morgue for so long. Were disproportionately targeted. For example, unclaimed bodies, residents of almshouses, or those buried in potter's fields were harvested for anatomical study. It discusses grave robbing, illegal body snatching, and desecration of Black cemeteries. An example was an early African burial ground in New York that was desecrated, revealing how deeply the foundations of American medicine rested on exploitation of Black deaths and bodies. So medical apartheid is even going to say, not only are they harvesting the organs, allegedly, we're going to say allegedly for the video, but allegedly harvesting organs from the morgues, but they even digging up bodies out of graves. So that's some of the things part one of medical apartheid gets into. Part two is the usual suspects, right? And that moves into the 20th century. It explores how incarcerated people, poor people, psychiatric patients, children, and other marginalized groups, disproportionately Black or non-white, were used as human guinea pigs for experiments without informed consent. Examples include radiation experiments, studies on prisoners, often for scientific or eugenics purposes, sterilization programs, I'll talk about that, and pseudoscientific studies of genetics tied to race. And examples of studies trying to link race to so-called violent genes. And when they're trying to study us, and I talk about it like the social sciences and a lot of these sciences in these medical industries in the beginning, for them to get the information they got about human bodies, they had to use the vulnerable bodies. They used the resources that they had, which were Black bodies. Black bodies have always been used for the advancement of white people, so they can profit off of Black bodies, so they can study us, right? I'm just saying. Says I stop trusting the medical system, right? So we covered that. Says Winter Haven hospitals is terrible, puts me in the mind of tales. I'm just saying, yeah. So we have a big issue here in Tallahassee because Tallahassee Medical Hospital, TMH, a long-standing hospital here that was a nonprofit hospital here that a lot of Black people would go to because it was a nonprofit hospital. It is merging with Florida State University. So that will, I believe, change the nonprofit status, I believe. But a lot of people are up in arms about it because healthcare is already so expensive, and they believe that will take away some healthcare options from people here, but also raise the prices of it. It's all about that money, man. It's all about that money. Uptight 24 in the building. What's going on, my brother? How you doing? Positive vibes on this good Thursday. I got my news reporter hat on. We learning about what happened with Tanya Walker getting her organs stolen by Dignity Hospitals. Allegedly got her organs stolen by Dignity Hospital because nothing legally has been finalized. So alleged organs. So it is very sad, wicked, evil time we live in. Things are out of hand here, only a matter of time. Yep. Well, Black people got to give a damn to have that give. Black people have to have had enough. Have we had enough? If we haven't had enough, then we're going to stay here for a long time if we haven't had enough. We got to get to a point where we've had enough. We're tired of this, and we're going to do something different. The Christopher Todd Eric case, no, I have not heard of that. Please enlighten me. I have not heard of that. What's sad is that these attorneys will not take your case with it. There you go. It's a whole system that we're fighting against. It's a whole system. That's why we got to have our own. First, practice personal health prevention. Read, study, research your health issues. The history of the medical industry is atrocious. There you go. Yeah, like all these psychic wards be testing. Yes. Y'all ain't tired yet. What's going on? How you doing? Hello. How you doing? Happy Thursday. I hope y'all having a good time with y'all family and everything. So Mr. Johnson was found in the museum with no skin. Wow. I'm 64-year-old Black woman. 12 years ago, I found out I have no appendix. They took that, and you went to the hospital? Wow. So, it also, when I'm reading my summary of medical apartheid, is also saying it covers reproductive abuses, forced sterilizations, unethical gynecological experiments, which targeted Black women, specifically reflecting systematic racism, sexism, and exploitation. Says Mr. Johnson was found in the museum with no skin. Okay, so you went into the hospital with an appendix and came out with no appendix. That's crazy. Organ harvesting, all these different things. So and you didn't have any appendix issues, no problem with your appendix, nothing like that. You didn't have to go to the hospital for your appendix. They came out and they took it without your permission. Yeah. So part 3 of medical apartheid deals with race, technology, and medicine. So it brings the story into the modern era, looks down on how advancements in medical technology, including genetic research, tissue harvesting, cellular research, so now I'm thinking about Tanya Walker and Henrietta Lacks, and how advancements in medical technology, including genetic research, tissue harvesting, cellular research, continue problematic patterns. The book discusses how Black people have often been subjected to exploitation in the name of progress, often without consent or full information. Right. Henrietta Lacks, right. I got that book too. I need to put that book on the reading list. I need to put medical apartheid on the reading list too. Right, no problems, none of that. They just took your appendix. That's crazy. So how long, when did this happen? Oh, you said 12 years ago. Were you able to fight some type of way? Fight that in any type of way? Y'all ain't tired yet. 1961 is a good year. I turned 64 this past. Hey, happy birthday. You still here kicking strong, and we still here doing our thing. We're gonna continue this good fight. I tell you that. We're gonna continue this good fight over here. This book also covers landmark examples like once again, Henrietta Lacks. Her cells, the HeLa cell, were taken without her knowledge or consent and became foundational for vast swaths of biomedical research. Washington uses such cases to argue that Black Americans have frequently become disproportionate risk for medical advances that primarily benefit others. Tanya Walker. It also analyzes how racial assumptions, scientific racism, often inform medical decisions. These assumptions influence who got treatment, who was used for experiments, whose deaths or remains were deemed unimportant, whose consent was respected, whether they received adequate care, and even how race affected diagnostic and treatment protocols, right? For example, biased assumptions in genetics, kidney diseases, or other areas. Even when they're talking about pain and all those things, that's crazy. Got you. You saying you can't. So if you're driving, please don't comment while you're driving. Stay safe. But that's crazy, man. That's crazy. This system out here is crazy. So the author of Medical Apartheid basically contends that from colonial time to the present, there has existed a persistent pattern of medical exploitation of Black Americans rooted in racism, economic inequality, and a power imbalance, which has shaped mistrust in the medical system among Black communities and contributed to health disparities. And I know that's a good reason why a lot of Black people do not go to the doctor or hospitals. It provides the historical bedrock for understanding why cases like Walker's, allegations for non-consensual organ or tissue harvesting, disappearance of bodies, failure of institutions to notify families evoke more than personal tragedy. They resonate with centuries of structural injustice and medical exploitation because it's something that we can see clearly continues to happen in these United States of America. So, the Tanya Walker case. I have links in the description to learn more about Tanya Walker, but it's just the Tanya Walker case. This is sickening. But then the question is, once again, what are we gonna do about it? What are we gonna do different? How are we gonna be different? How are we gonna better protect ourselves as Black people? We have to figure that out for ourselves. Nobody else is going to figure that out. Why would the people who oppress us even care about protecting us? Why would they protect us from their oppression? Don't make sense. All right. So like I said, to learn more about the Tanya Walker story, there's a link in the description. So I am moving on to another story about a brother who his farm is being stolen. Hold up, my bad. His farm is being stolen by the authorities within the city that he lives in. And there's a whole backstory to how he acquired the farm and how trying to help others has led to him possibly losing his farm. It says, develop a frigid. I can't even say that word. I ain't gonna act like I can say that word. I ain't even gonna act like I can say that word. Yeah, holistic lifestyle. We got to live better. We got to live better. All right, cool. Be safe. Be safe out here in these streets. And you know, and remember, them folk, Popo 5-0, like to do stuff on these holidays. So y'all be safe out there. Food is a healer. Your food is your medicine. Food is your first line of defense. It's your medicine. What you put in your body matters. So, Derek Williamson is a promising young black farmer who is doing a lot of good stuff in his community, and people he tried to help are now hating on him, and they're trying to steal his farm. So I have the link to Derek Williamson's website in the description. So you can go to the description of this video and you can see the Derek Williamson website there. And you can also see the link to this video I'm about to show you from Indisputable with Rashard Ritchie. They're trying to take the man's farm, and all he was trying to do was help some people out. And I'm sure you probably know what type of people we talk about. Thank you. Y'all ain't tired yet for the $4.99 super sticker. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
All this money, homie. I got all this money, homie.
Thank you for supporting this channel. Like I say, all the support goes to the channel, as well as to growing the channel, as well as educational materials for the On the Shoulders of Giants Black History School, which we meet every second and fourth Saturday at Carter's Corner here in Tallahassee, Florida. And right now, give y'all an update on this. Right now, we are creating our own black superhero. So basically what I'm doing in a fun way, I'm teaching my students about black mythology, or black mythological heroes, the gods and goddesses of the different pantheons of the African diaspora. So like the Orishas and all the other gods and goddesses and all the mythological characters. I'm teaching my students about them, but I'm doing it in a fun way because my students love superheroes. So I say, let's take all of these, let's take the attributes of these African gods and goddesses, these mythological people. Let's take all of these attributes and pick which attributes you want to use to create our own black superheroes. And so that's what we're doing. So they're learning about the gods and goddesses, learning about the mythological characters by learning about the attributes and having to create their own black superheroes. And then we're going to eventually create our own black comic books out of these superheroes, and all the students have to create their own pantheons and all these things there. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I love you all. Thank you. And I'm gonna keep doing what I do. And that's why, remember, tomorrow at 1 p.m. bringing you our first, and I don't know when it's gonna happen again, but it's gonna be our first Breakdown Friday live. So we got that going, our first Breakdown Friday live. So provide health, advocate for family and friends by any means necessary. There you go. Yep. And that's why I have them learning about our black gods, goddesses, our black heroes. In this world, seems like you got to be kind of from afar. Yep. Right. Nah, you real. You right. You can't help everybody. So let's get this story is messed up, but let's get into it. Let's learn, because I want to make sure more people know about this and possibly be able to help this young man. Which one? Oh, here we go. So please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, and if you want to hit that super chat, hit the super sticker, you can as well to support the channel. Let's go.
There's a story we brought you, and we interviewed the individual. This was a while ago, about a black male or young black male forced out of his own home by the police. We have an update to that story. Let me remind you of it. Here it is.
Do you guys remember Derek? He was the kid that got his property, his farm, stolen by this white family. The family's name was the Hardys, and Derek was really good friends with them through the church. They ended up buying this home together, and then the lady who he was doing business with ended up transferring everything into Derek's name. Well, later on, there was that went down, and the family ended up moving into Derek's house because he was trying to help them. Well, they ended up taking over his home and basically kicking him out of the house. But because the family had all these connections to the judge and the police and all these things, they ended up taking his house. And you guys remember this plane crash that just happened in Covington, Georgia, right? You won't believe it if I told you, but it's right there. James and Janet Hardy are the couple who stole that boy's house. They were the couple that died on that plane after it took off.
The person who caused the accident doesn't want you to know this. You should never sue them if you want to potentially get paid.
There's more action. So that was an ironic update about the plane scenario. And we fast forward to this month. Derek would attempt to reoccupy his home, but the police came to force him out. We have that footage. Here it is.
You cannot, as much as you don't want me to be a resident here, I am. You can't get over that. I am a resident. I am a Morgan County resident, and you cannot get over that. Let's would you like to go to? I mean, this is my home, and this is my home. Hey, everybody, I'm getting ready right now. I'm here at my home in Morgan County, Georgia, that I have the deed to. That's my residence that I have a Supreme Court ruling to. That my cars are registered. That my license is to. I think last. Do you still have my license?
No, I got it back.
Okay, so you did. Okay, here we go. That my license are registered. And this officer is going to tell me that I don't live in my own home. Why are you trying to remove me from my home?
You don't live here.
I do live here. This is my bedroom. This is my room. I do live here. I live here, and I'm not leaving because I live here. So therefore, you don't have a right to put
bedroom, do you?
Nope.
You don't go to your own bedroom because you know ain't none of your stuff.
Let's go to the bedroom. Would you like to go? I will show you. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go look then. Let's go look. So we're going to my bedroom. This officer is trying to remove me from land. He has no right, no authority to do anything. Here, come on in. And they're harassing me, and I want them off my private property. Hey, actually, you guys got to get a warrant. I don't want you on my property. You got to get off my property.
You need to get out.
No, this is my property. I'm not leaving. You need to get a warrant. Go get a warrant. Because you're trying to move me from my land. That's my constitutional right. This is my bedroom. This is my home. You're gonna have to. This is my bedroom, and everything belongs to me. I'm not leaving because it's mine. You can't tell. You don't even tell me. You have no right to tell me to move my home. This belongs to me. This TV belongs to me. This is mine. This is mine. This bed belongs to me. That belongs to me. Everything, a workout equipment in there goes to me. Every radio in my command station belongs to me. Everything in this bathroom belongs to me. My lawyer has every receipt to everything in this room. So therefore, this is my furniture in my room. You have no right to tell me I'm leaving. You know that I'm a resident here because the county tells me who I'm a resident.
You even told me in a few weeks.
I haven't been here in a few weeks. Yes, that is
and
correct.
Like I said, I understand.
I have
we
business.
have proof that they've been serving you elsewhere.
What doc? I have not been served in over a year. Okay. I have not been served in over a year, and it was a stay away order. I could not be here. It says stay away until.
When did you move back?
I moved back to this property the day that order expired. That was in October.
So how did all this happen? How were they able to move in your room?
How many times?
Listen, I understand, but you told me that they had moved all their stuff in here.
And I moved it out once before. I got y'all to move it out once before. We've been through this time ago. We've been through this time and time again.
Well, at this point, listen, I'm going to issue a warning, okay? And then we're going to have you vacate today. There has to be a court order to say that they're evicted from here before you can come
So
back.
you're moving the residents. So you're moving me out of my home.
They're the residents.
I'm the resident.
They've been staying here daily.
I don't have to. What law says I got to be in my sleep in this bed every night? What law? What law says I can't sleep? What law says I can't handle business in another city?
Are you going to sign these?
If I don't sign it, you're taking me to jail, right? If I don't sign this, you're taking me to
Sign a
jail.
refusal, you're still going to have to leave the property. And if you don't leave after that point, once I sign these all as a refusal, yes, we will.
Now, if you notice, the officer said that the black male, the young black male, he needs to provide a service of eviction to evict the family who has been living there. Ironically, the officer is correct. But it also applies to the young black male, meaning in order for him to be ejected from the property, there must be a proper eviction notice for him to leave. Thus, it becomes an enforcement of law rather than a civil dispute. Police officers in the state of Georgia are not allowed to engage in civil disputes. This was a civil dispute. So much.
Now remember, the law enforcement, the police officers, the judges, everybody, all the lawmakers, legal people, all the authorities, all the administrative people in the city, everybody is working with the Hardy family against Derek Williams. They're all in cahoots together. They're all friends and all working against Derek Williams. Just want to make sure you understood that.
Just transpired since we last covered this story. We interviewed Derek Williamson. We're planning on doing a follow-up interview with him after this as well on all the updates very soon. So in the description of these latest videos, Derek posted the following. So Morgan County Sheriff's Office has grossly violated my constitutional rights in conspiracy with the millionaire Hardy family and corrupt county judges. I have been arrested, stolen from, assaulted, hospitalized, traumatized, and discriminated against by these corrupt officials and millionaires conspiring to steal my farm from me and my animal family. I have been arrested before for the first.
Hey, Ricardo, you trying to see what Ben Crump at? What Ben Crump at? Yeah, not only all the black lawyers, but what all the groups of black people that supposed to stand up for black people, all the groups, they should be there in droves. He should have so much support. People should be there in droves.
Time in my life by discriminatory officers at MCSO. Y'all may use brute force against me, but one day someone is going to see my videos that can help bring y'all into accountability. It's coming soon. Morgan County, Georgia. Just know all the pain, injuries, and humiliation you have caused me and my animal family will be accounted for. You won't get away with this misconduct, even if lawyers are too scared to hold y'all accountable. There is one. So in an exclusive statement, Williamson told indisputable, quote, it's a sad reality to have to accept that the color of your skin could cause an entire police department to forget their oath of offices.
Remember, Ben Crump.
Hi, I'm JT, and I'm a results hunter, the search engine for conservatives. Let me just tell you what it does. First of all,
Ben Crump live here in Tallahassee. Ben Crump live 10 minutes away over by FAMU High School, by Florida A&M University. I know about Shinebone. What you call him, Shinebone Crump. I know about Heavy Tongue Crump. You got to make sure you get the lawsuit together and stuff like that. I know about Ben Crump, man. But once again, like a situation like this, somebody should, like, he should have so much support and so much help. People should be lined up fighting for this young man. But you know, it's not one of them sensationalized stories. Chisel, Chipper, I appreciate you, my brother, with the $5 super chat. I appreciate the support.
Look at all this money, homie. I got all this money, homie.
So thank you, my brother, for the support. Yeah, like they need to go somewhere. Like Ben Crump and all them, they need to go somewhere, right? They not like the real, like, because real stuff happen every day, not just the sensationalized things, right? And I'm not saying those stories don't deserve it, but it's everything. If it's not sensationalized, they not there because they're ambulance chasers. Just like they learned from Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and all them. Our lawyers probably watching the phones right now, but hey, look, all skin ain't kin. All skin ain't kin. And it's a sad reality. And as a black man, I don't like saying this. I hate saying this, but we got to be real. A sad reality is too many soft-ass black men out here in this world that are too willing to cower and bend their knees for either the white man or the white man's dollars. Yeah, so yeah. Please hit that like button. Hit that like button. And yeah, that bullseye at the top of the chat. Please support this channel as we continue to bring you information, content, all these things to help our people grow. Thank you, Chisel Chipper. I really appreciate you, my brother. Ricardo Float, man. Y'all know Uptight, Chisel Chipper, Ricardo Float. Y'all already know what it is, man. I appreciate you all, gentlemen. Let's let him finish up.
He has a deed in his name. Obviously, has property there. Typically, the fact that you have a license with an address on it, or you have mail coming to the residential location, is enough for a police officer to say, I can't do anything without a notice of eviction. There's nothing I can do. And you didn't hear that said for him, because I guarantee you, if he had a notice for eviction, they would not be conversing with him about if he lives there or not.
Right.
Okay, a hell of a thing. Obviously, we'll bring updates as they come. Dear brother, thoughts here?
They can forget their oath of office. When they took them, they did not have people like him in mind. So he is not the type of citizen in their head they swore to protect. The law is powerless to help him in their eyes, but not powerless to harm him. So, who were they there on behalf of? I saw him and the law enforcement agency, but there's no one there that was causing the impetus for them to try to remove him. So he was minding his business in his home. What's the other party? The court did not order them to intervene, or else they would have just arrested him and removed him. They looked like they were trying to serve him with something, with some notice of something, which is not an arrestable offense to reject service. I mean, they just filed with the court, this person rejected service on this.
And remember now, the relationship between Derek Williamson and the Hardys, the Hardys are the family that sold him the farm. The Hardys went through issues. He allowed the Hardys to stay there with him while he's the owner. He got into it with the Hardys. The relationship was sour. And the Hardys are using their friends, the power that they have within that city, to punish Derek, and that's why they're harassing him. And this all stems back to the racist Hardys trying to get back at Derek for whatever the reason that their relationship went sour. But we're gonna do a little reading because I have some information. I have the unveiling of Derek Williams' personal odyssey. I have that directly from his website, and the link to that is in the description.
And that's documentation. They move forward. That's not an arrestable offense, especially in his house.
Yeah. Man.
He's going through all this unnecessary. Like if police came in here and they asked me to prove that I live here, I would show my license, but I'm not letting them in my home and showing that this is my bed and I have to receive this. No, they wouldn't do it if I was lighter. They wouldn't do it to him if he was lighter. So he needs to sue these people. Or I think violating his rights, easily violating his rights. And granted, I don't know Georgia like I know Alabama. I don't know what kind of county that is. It may be a good old boy system where they, operating like it's 1960. But if it's the regular law, if that governs this Georgia county, I think he's got a fantastic lawsuit there.
Yeah, and one of the issues has been finding local counsel who's willing to take the case because of the, let's just say, adverse judges in that local jurisdiction. Sometimes people forget that a local lawyer has to continue to do business in that local county. And if the judiciary decides this individual isn't playing ball and defending somebody they would rather you not defend, that could drive their law practices. So he's seeking an opportunity for representation outside of Morgan County, or one who is not afraid to prepare for battle with those same officials. All right, we'll keep you updated. as the story develops.
Do not pay your next car insurance bill. Repeat, do not pay your bill yet.
As I told you, I have some information directly from Derek's website. It is helpthearc.org. HELP the arc.org. Matter of fact, I'll share my screen. So, all right, so this is Derek Williamson's website at helpthearc.org, and this is what it looks like. Let me go full screen so you can see the whole thing. So, from building dreams to fighting deceit, a personal journey of loss, betrayal, and a stolen legacy, the unveiling justice, the Derek Williams story. So it says Derek Williams' extensive background in ministry and community work led to a closer relationship with the Hardys, a family deeply involved in volunteer work and generous contributions to various causes. Over time, their shared dedication to making a difference in the lives of others fostered a family dynamic. Derek opened his home to Janet, Jordan, and Claire during a crisis involving Jordan's pregnancy, solidifying their bond as a chosen family. I wonder what he learned from this, fraternizing with the enemies, you know what I'm saying? Because clearly those people were not good people. In a surprising turn of events, Janet Hardy expressed a desire to gift a valuable farm property in Morgan County, Georgia, to Derek's ministry. Morgan County, Georgia. I believe that's South Georgia. I believe if it's South Georgia, then yeah, you already know that. So, initially skeptical due to the property's high value, Derek eventually agreed to accept the generous gift. The deed was indeed to be the ministry in the ministry's name. Listen to that. The deed was intended to be in the ministry's name, a decision made to ensure clarity and performance, affirming the property as an unadulterated gift as per Janet's intentions. The relationship between Derek and the Hardys took a negative turn when the value of the gifted property increased. Listen to that. The relationship took a negative turn when the value of the property increased. The Hardys, for reasons not entirely clear, attempted to sell the property against Derek's wishes after the property's value increased. But remember, Derek is the owner of the property, but the property is still in the name of, they want to keep the name, the deed in the name of the ministry. This marked the beginning of legal battles, false reports, and a series of actions aimed at dismantling Derek's ownership of the property and seizing control. Derek's attempt to seek legal recourse, including a restraining order, were met with hurdles as the legal system presented limitations on eligibility. The Hardys, assisted by Judge Holt, escalated their efforts by making false reports to government agencies, leading to investigations and legal complexities. The theft of animal exhibition panels and company assets further intensified the injustice faced by Derek and his animal sanctuary. As Derek delved deeper into the legal battle, evidence emerged of a corrupt alliance involving Judge Holt and those conspiring against him. This revelation shed light on a network extending beyond immediate adversaries, exposing a tangled web of deceit. Tragedy struck with the loss of Derek's brother, heightening the personal and legal stakes in his fight for justice against a corrupt alliance among the seizing of his family's farm. And it's more, the story goes deep. Look, like this is a 26 page PDF document that Derek has on his website about what's going on. Of course, we don't have the time to go fully into this, because I have about 15 more minutes with you guys. Then, I got to go holler at my pops. Gonna go chill out with my pops for a minute. Got about 15 more minutes, but I did want to make sure you all can see this, right? Kush, what's going on? Oh yes. So Kush, could you please email me? So I'm gonna put my email in the chat. If any of you are interested in being a moderator for the chat, please email me, Kush. I really appreciate you. So I'm gonna put my email in the chat. So Kush, I already got you. So Kush, I'm definitely gonna make you a moderator. So you're gonna be getting an email probably tomorrow or later on today. You're gonna get some kind of email or notification or something about you being a moderator for this channel. But I wanted to make sure I get you all's permissions and everything like that. But if they were racist, why would they? Oh yeah, what? Never. You know what? I'm not. Never mind. Yeah, because their racism will prevent them from taking black people's organs, because racism has nothing to do with organ harvesting. Has nothing to do with organ harvesting. It's all about a system of power and control. It has nothing to do with I don't like you, so I'm not gonna like your organs. We're not even playing that over here. We studied over here. Nicodemo, Scarfo, we studied over here, my brother. So racism, white supremacy don't even have come down to I don't like you like that. It come down to power and control, being able to control things, being able to oppress people. Land, wealth, power, resources, and money. That's what it come down to. Said grandma said if they lie down with dogs, they catch fleas and all other type of stuff. Hey man, you ain't got to like it over here. If you don't like what's being said over here, take your ass to another channel. How about that? Matter of fact, I'm gonna do the. Oh yeah, you one of them folks. So we're gonna treat you like you need to be treated because your ass is ignorant. So now let me finish getting him up out of here. There we go. Ignorance. If you disagree, you disagree. We ain't finna be spamming and all that ignorant stuff, but yeah, Nicodemus, yeah, he a lame. He's stupid. He ain't learn to read. King James Bible wrath is cruel and the anger is outrageous, but who was able to stand before envy? Hey man, look at it. There you go. Simple. Like he never learned to read. So this is his story timeline. I'm gonna make it bigger so you can see it as well. So my story timeline, background of Hardy and our relationship before Grand Wildlife Ministry gift. I have an extensive background in ministry and community work and sat on multiple boards and served as director of multiple organizations, operational leadership teams. The Hardys were very involved in volunteer work and giving to the ministries. They demonstrated a very dedicated and seemingly genuine appreciation, generosity, and support of all the families we served. The Hardys became very close to myself and others due to their dedication and generosity to make a difference in the lives of others through support and community efforts. Over time, we developed a family dynamic relationship. I called her Mama, Janet, and Jordan and Claire. Sisters, vice versa. They called me son and brother. We celebrated birthdays together, served, and spent holidays together. So, Dion, what's going on, my brother? What's going on? Hey man, no, don't even worry about it. You are here. I'm happy you are here. Thank you for being here. You have a happy and safe Thanksgiving with you and your family as well. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. So what I just read reminds me of the video that I did that me and PhD did 2 Saturdays ago. The first in the 2-part installment with Marimba Ani. When the white woman who come from the Christian nationalist Mormon background, that racist white Christian nationalist background, she talked about their community work and how nice they was and things that how they used the guise of missionary and community work to spread their evil. She said those things. They used the guise of community work missionary, helping people out, helping communities, being generous, being kind. That's the guys that they use to spread their evil, spread their ideologies, and do their dirt. And so my brother didn't know, but he had got. They used that on him, and he had got. So this is him telling us about their cohabitation. Says, it would approximately winter of 2020, I would be the acting director of operations for a prominent food bank in Georgia, where the Hardys also served weekly as dedicated volunteers. Thank you, Kush. Thank you. Janet and Jordan approached me on site one evening, passionately expressing they had a major problem. They began to articulate to me that Jordan was in fact pregnant and that they were not able to get her father to allow her to keep the child. He should have told them, that ain't my damn problem. She should have wore a condom. That ain't my problem. They said that he arranged to have the child aborted multiple times. Oh, I can't even say that word. Have the child removed multiple times, and they kept getting out of it. But he stated the next time he would be taking Jordan there himself, and it wasn't optional. Janet expressed to me she told him Jordan was keeping the child, and he stated then they both have to leave their home of 20 plus years. And Janet also expressed that even if we stay, the stress that Jay imposes from this situation could indeed result in a miscarriage. So they played on his emotions. They played all the heartstrings and everything. So I'm not gonna read everything because I want to see how much I can get to this. So background of my gift to my company. So upon cohabitating with the Hardys, we all became even more bonded. We would all have dinner together daily, share housing responsibilities. I did the best I could to make a difficult situation manageable as possible. He should have minded his own business. After some time had passed, all of us cohabitating, Janet came to me seemingly very heartfelt and started off the conversation saying, I know everything that has happened with you and Nicole, who's a former corrupt zoo business partner. I've watched you for years help so many people and animals and even know my family. I have seen how you have sacrificed and always kept going after horrendous ordeal after another. And just to say that, to add another horrendous ordeal on top of what he got going on, right? God told me to bless your ministry. It would be maybe a week or so after that conversation that Janet sends me a picture of a beautiful farm that was for sale in Morgan County, Georgia. She asked me my thoughts and I exclaimed, of course, it's beautiful, but the price is very high. But one day God will bless this animal family with a forever home of that caliber. So that was the setup. So basically they sold him the home. So they insisted we go look at he said they insisted that they go look at it, and they did. I fell in love with the beautiful pastures, barn, workshops, animal amenities, and it was like this was indeed an amazing forever home for the animal family due to the session. So basically she showed him the farm that they was gonna eventually give to him. Said background when things took a turn between the Hardys and myself. This is what I want to get to. To this day, I'm not entirely sure what exactly shifted the dynamics of our relationship, but I am led to believe that the property value hyper increase and maybe some personal issues amongst the Hardys triggered their aggressive stance to dismantle and try to seize the company's property. And remember, at this time, the Hardys are living with him. They show him the property. He owns the property. They sell the property to him. He owns the property. They go through some hard times. He allows them to live with him. And then as the value goes up, they want to sell the property. It would be approximately January 2022 that Janet would approach me saying she's selling the property and that she has already had a realtor out. I expressed to Janet that there were only 39 weeks in and we have over 116 animals on this farm that we gave oaths and commitments to be their forever home. And we have a ministry of saving the lives of animals through wildlife rescue efforts and humans through animal therapy. We can't just sell after all that has escalated here and the impact this will have on this region. I also stated that I can't just get rid of my exotic animals that have been imported here. This was the agreed upon and gifted forever home for the sloths, wallabies, Patagonians, Capybara, the Kikachus, all those. We gave them this sanctuary. I told her, let's go to mediation with the lawyer We trust and we can discuss some resolution in this situation. Instead, the Hardys called the police, creating an illegal false report stating I was trespassing on their property, and the illegal waves began from there. Crazy. Says, if you own property, put it in a irrevocable trust. Noted. Uptight, I wish I knew what I knew back then. I wouldn't have devoted to purchasing property. Yeah, there you go. Says, Leon Soul, what's going on? Greetings. What in Ryan Krugler's sentence is going on? Stealing property, white supremacists being white supremacists. The value of this property went up, and these people said, you know what? We finna get this money. So the Hardys' first law breaking of false report to the government agency. So he says, February 2022, the Hardys began to mass call government agencies, creating false reports against me. Instead of in good faith going to a mediation, herself family began to break the law to attack myself and my entire animal family. They began to create false reports to the government agencies. They reported to the sheriff's office that I was trespassing on my farm, and Morgan County came out in multiple vehicles down my driveway. So I put my hands up because I could tell by speed and number of cars that they were coming for me. And being a young black man coming into contact with multiple squad cars, I knew I needed to respond accordingly for my safety. That lets you know we are never fully accepted by them. You will never fully be accepted by the system of white supremacy. I'm gonna say that again. People who are within the system of white supremacy will never fully accept you. They will use you, never fully accept you. They used that young man because they knew that young man had talent. They used that young man to help increase the value of that farm. And then once they saw that coming, it was a setup from the beginning. They used that young man to increase the value of that farm, making him think, well, they sold it to him, and then now they're using these tricks. That's some bull. They reported to the sheriff's office that I was trespassing on my own farm in Morgan County, came out multiple vehicles down the driveway. I said that. So the Hardys began to also call for other government agencies, creating false reports of animal cruelty and complex levels of animal neglect. Morgan County Animal Control Department of Natural Resources and allegedly the United States Department of Agriculture. Due to the nature of the calls, the government agencies put me under investigation and sent out multiple enforcement officials to my farm, including the head of Department of Natural Resources. Upon being put under investigation, I was not found guilty of any crimes of neglect or any kind of infraction. Due to the dynamics of the situation with the Hardys on my land, and law enforcement nor a judge would remove them for the sake of my animal safety. The Department of Natural Resources said that all my exotic animals had to be removed off the farm in 7 days, or they would be coming to seize them, and I will no longer have ownership over them. They stated it was the best interest of the animals, being that the Hardys and their accomplices had full access to the animals, and the USDA permits re-inspection was 6 months out. Granted, I still had over 100 other animals on our farm, including Asian water buffaloes. Like, all of that is wild. All of that is wild. So, like I said, this is a 26-page document. I don't have time to read everything, but the link to this is in the description, where he's laying out everything that has happened between him and the Hardys. I do want to say, fuck the Hardys and everything that they stand for. They can go to hell. They some buster ass people, some sucker ass people, the Hardys. And once again, I believe that sounds like they saw the talent in that young black man. They saw what he could do. They saw what he could do for their farm. They put him in position to raise the value of the farm. He did that, and then like, all right, we're gonna sell it and get this money. Fuck the Hardys. It's messed up. So think about what we covered today. Organ harvesting and land stealing. Stealing black bodies, stealing black land. Stealing black bodies, stealing black land. Stealing black bodies, stealing black land. Black bodies, black land. Black bodies, black land, right? White supremacists have always found two things very valuable: black bodies and black land. Remember that. What are we learning from these situations? What are we learning from this? This young man needs some help, so I want to make sure I cover this. So we can reach out and more people can know about this. So please, please, please share this as wide as possible. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and share. Well, what are we learning from these stories? What have you learned? What are you going to do different in your life moving forward? What are you going to do different today moving forward? We talk about health. It's Thanksgiving. So are you going to eat different today? Or are you going to wait tomorrow to eat different? Or do you already eat healthy? What is your physical activity routine? All these different things here. How are we taking care of ourselves on a legal standpoint, financial standpoint, spiritual standpoint? We have to be better. How can we better protect ourselves? This young man should have all of the talking heads should be talking about what's going on with this young man right now. The Hebrew Israelites should be marching, should be in front of his farm, helping him. The Nation of Islam, all these groups, all these people. This is what they have been formed for, to help people like this. So I'm just saying. So I just want to do my part in sharing the Derek Williams story and also sharing what happened with Tanya Walker. So yeah. Said they claim we're 3/5 of man, but they hey, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. So too generous, too giving, and falling for white folks' interruption of interpretation of God, all that. There we go. So I'm starting to close this thing out because, like I said, I got to go chill with my pops. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We got 269 people in the building. That's the most we had in a while. So thank everybody for tuning in, getting this information. Told you I had my news reporter hat on today, so I want to make sure I bring y'all up to speed on what's going on. There you go, working out 4 times a week on average, donating to Black activists when we can. There you go. Every day we got to be doing something. Every day. There you go, Kush. A sheep should never trust a kind fox. There we go. So with that being said, I'm gonna start to close this thing out. So Kush, I appreciate you for being here, and I also appreciate you for being the moderator. I will send you the information. Yikwaba, I'm not messing your name up. Yikwaba, thank you for being here. I apologize for butchering your name, my brother, but thank you for being here. Uptight 24, my brother, thank you for being here. Yes, sir. Ricardo Float, as always, my brother, I appreciate you. Leon Soul, thank you. Divine Love, thank you for being here. Stay out of their facilities. There you go. Alvin, thank you for being here. Who else up in here? Dion White up in the building. Thank you for being up in here. Chisel Chipper, once again, thank you for being a member. Thank you for the super chat. Larry Hollins, I appreciate you for being up in here. Tyrone Slater, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in, catching this information. Obviously, I'm doing something right over here. So thank you. KDM for you. Thank you for being here. Angela Caraway. Thank you. Georgia. Thank you. Y'all ain't tired yet. Thank you for being here. SWPC9YE. Thank you for being here. And y'all ain't tired yet. Thank you for the $4.99 super sticker as well. I appreciate you. Holistic Code, as always, I appreciate you and all the book suggestions. Thank you. Please keep dropping them book suggestions. And please, you can email me books that we need to read as well. Please email me. So, because matter of fact, I want to put together a book list that we need to be reading. So if y'all got book suggestions, please email me so we can put together a book list. OMIJ 6790, thank you for being here. Thank you. Okay, UU8CC, thank you for being here. I appreciate all y'all. Like I said, y'all could be everywhere, anywhere you want to, but you came over here. Abria Frierson, thank you. Michael Cluis, thank you, my brother. Jerry Washington, thank you. The great Yakuti Azor L, thank you for being here. Jedi Skywalker, thank you for being here. Is it there? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the love. FM, my man, FM, thank you for being up in the building. Justin Rome, thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Missouri as well. Shout out to everybody. Out the thicket, I appreciate you. Man, I'm so happy that y'all showed up today. Thank you. Please show up tomorrow. Tomorrow 1 p.m. Remember, Friday Breakdown live tomorrow. Gotta be there. ECX24, thank you for being here. Hidden Fees of Life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cindy, thank you as well. I appreciate all y'all. Hey, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Mikalo, I know I'm butchering your name. Walden, thank you. Thank you. Mikalo Walden, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Remember, tomorrow, hit that poll. Remember, you got that poll. You got the question of the day. And you can hit the super chat, super likes, all those things to support this channel. Tomorrow, 1 p.m., we back. Breakdown Friday live. I've been wanting to do it for a minute. I know people enjoy the Breakdown Fridays. We live tomorrow, 1 p.m. Be back. Be back. Be back. Be back. Be back. Thank y'all. Please hit that poll, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, hit the Q&A, hit the super chats, all those things there. I love y'all. Have a great rest of y'all day. Stay safe. Tomorrow, 1 p.m., we here. 1 p.m. Eastern time, we back here. Out of here. Oh, yep. We out of here.